I want to talk about your personal and professional life balance. So obviously you and Layla, I'm assuming, have some sort of structure at this point, or maybe you don't, I don't know, for like how many hours are allocated to, you wake up, I don't know, like do you have a morning routine, and then how do you schedule out things and date nights, or how's that look?
Yeah, we do the same thing pretty much every day. So we wake up, we have coffee, we work, we have lunch, we do meetings in the afternoons, we walk, and we go out to dinner, we come home, we'll usually have more dessert, and then we'll usually watch an episode of a show, and we go to bed. And I do that basically every day. So
you have the same sleep schedule, and you wake up at like 4 a.m. at the same time, or whatever it is?
I wake up when I wake up. It usually is, like today I woke up at probably like 4:30, but 4:30 to 5:30 is when I wake up. I mean, whenever my REM cycle ends. I just wake up with my eyes open.
Okay, and then you get up, you go make a cup of coffee, and you sit there for, like, how long is it until you're actually working in your office?
Probably 45 minutes. Probably 45 minutes, Layla and I hang out. We have our coffee, we watch the sunrise, chit-chat about the day, chit-chat about whatever. And then we work. And I mean, the two biggest life hacks that I've had for being productive that I still do is, number one, I wake up early and I start working pretty much immediately. I still consider it, I'm not transiting anywhere, I'm not getting ready. I mean, from the time my eyes are open to the time I'm working is probably 45 minutes. And I start early, so that's one. And the second one is that I just don't schedule anything before lunch. And we're pretty vigilant about that. Even with all the demands of time and all that stuff, I have until basically 12:30 every day that I don't take really any meetings. And that has, I think, those two things together have allowed me to, I mean, if I start working at 5:30 and I have until 12:30, I have a full work day, completely uninterrupted, every day before I do things like this, right? Like, I did nothing before I talked to you today.
Do you have like a task
Not
list
nothing, I did.
from Melanie too for that 5 to 12:30 slot, where it's like, you're going to work on your book for this, or you're going to film, or whatever?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And it's also because the nature of my work compared to Layla's is different. Layla has far more tasks, and like she has a lot more like 10 to 60-minute tasks, and I have way more like 40-hour tasks. You know what I mean? So like if I need to create like an entire SOP. So I'll give you an example. So one of the things that I have to build right now is our database marketing system. So it's a system that we do with all of our portfolio companies, which basically creates compliant claims, allows us to track customer metrics and customer results at different intervals within the company, how we translate that into headlines and guarantees within the product, and how it translates into marketing messaging. And so like all of that kind of all works together. It's a big thing that I have to put together. You know what I mean? There's lots of assets. There's like, here's the surveys, here's how to interpret the surveys, here's how you translate them into headlines and guarantees, and here's what the compliance looks like, all that stuff, right? And so like, that's a big thing I have to do. Layla's tasks are typically not like that. Hers are more like, have 4 interviews with, this role that we're looking at with one of the portfolio companies. So it's like they have a director of sales, and she's going to interview their final candidates to make a recommendation, right? Yeah. So it's like, she has way more tasks than I do, and they're just as important. They're just different in nature.
And if you guys don't finish, like, let's just say she's going through her bullet point list of tasks and she doesn't finish them by lunch or your meetings in the afternoon, do you just like chop them off in the middle, or do they carry through and sometimes you'll have a full work day where you work for like 12 hours? Or how's that typically play out?
No, they just start over the next day. I mean, there's literally an endless supply of work. So, and that's where I think prioritization is important. A lot of people just don't prioritize well. So they do lots of stuff, but they don't get anything done that moves the needle.
When do you film? Is it in that 8-hour block when you wake up?
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, a lot of the stuff is repurposed, and Caleb's, coming in and he's building his, the media team out, for this, mostly because like I want to work on businesses more than I want to make like the specific videos, and I don't think it's sustainable. And so I didn't want to create an I didn't want to scale up to something that was unsustainable to then scale it back. So what I'm doing now is comfortable for me. This is like, I make, a handful of videos every few weeks, and I usually do them in one spray. I'll just sit down and I have a couple things top of mind. I'll make the videos, and those get spread out. And then we've got, podcasts like this where they'll repurpose different chunks, and so that becomes content. It also becomes the clips, and so the vast majority of the short stuff is repurposed, and increasingly over time, more of the longer clips for like YouTube will be repurposed.
When you sit down for videos, that's like once a week, you just like blast off and talk at the camera for like 4 hours, or like how do you structure that? Because you have
you probably have a much better process than I do.
Well, the fact that I think you've said somewhere that you do it once a week or something, which is like
or every other week, yeah.
And then you just make sure you have enough clips out of that to make, and then if you have like a long form presentation that you've done, or like I don't know, like you've been to an event or something that you can post, you'll post that. But it's kind of like whatever you've thought of over the last 2 weeks is important, and you just sit down, just fucking talk kind of thing. You don't have like somebody prompting questions for you or anything?
No, it is astonishingly low production. That's not a guise. It's not like some I'm trying to make it. It's really low production. I have I have this little pad in front of my computer that if I think of something that I think would be good, I write it down. And then when I have like 2 or 3 of them on the pad, I sit down and make the video that weekend. You know what I mean? And if I get to the video time and I'm not feeling one of them, I don't make it. And so if I sit down and I feel like making 4, I make 4. And if I feel like making 1, I make 1. Because like I know that if I don't feel like making the video, it's not going to be good. And so I don't want to waste the audience's time.
Do you review anything before it goes live, ever?
Not really.
So you just let them clip it and just assume that it's like it's going to be whatever it is?
Because it's me direct to camera. Yeah, it's me direct to camera. So like I feel confident. Like I will stand behind what I say.
Yeah.
Where I feel like people have to watch out is where if somebody's trying to take on their voice, that's something that I would have, a lot of difficulty with. But anytime, they want to take a transcript and then like post it as a caption or post it on LinkedIn or whatever, like those are my words. Like, cool. You know what I mean? As long as it's not taken out of context, which usually they're really good about. Then that's how we do it.
Do you do anything to get your headspace right for videos? Like listen to music, get pumped up? Like do you do anything like that? No? Okay.
You're making me
sometimes
feel
just getting
in.
No, dude. But like sometimes if you know you've got to film and you have like a really dialed in schedule and it's like this is my filming block and you're just like not feeling it, sometimes there's things people will do to kind of like get their head in the right space. I wasn't sure if you had any of those.
If my head's not in the right space, I just do something that my head is in the right space for. So I'll say something that Layla and I are probably a little different about. Maybe we've converged a little bit, but like this is probably going to be against the discipline motivation manifesto like mantra that is predominant. But like people are like, you got to do stuff that you don't want to do. I don't do that a lot. I do the stuff that I want to do, and I just if all of these things are high ROI, I just do the ones that I feel like doing, and if they're all high ROI, then it doesn't matter what order I do them in. It's like, today's a content day. I'm like, well, if I don't feel like making content, I feel like writing a book, then I'll write the book. And if the next day I was supposed to write the book and I feel like making content, I'll make content. They both get done. I just do them when I'm feeling it.
Okay.
I don't know. It's worked for me. I am not a rules guy. I do not like rules. And so I like having freedom. And so I try to apply that to as many places in my life as I can.
The one thing I can relate to a lot is recently you showed your little hallway cubby of an office. It's just like a dialed in fucking straight on. You can't look to your left, you can't look to your right. It's just a wall.
A lot of you guys have seen me record videos in this space over here. Harry Potter's under the bed, platform 9 3/4. But this is actually where I work. So this is my little office. It's actually a mandatory fire escape.
For me, over the years, the more I had windows, sound, anything, I can't even have my door open where it's like I know another room is like in the steppable vicinity of me. It just needs to be shut. So
100%.
I have a hard time with traveling even too, because if I go sit down at a table somewhere else that's not my office, it's very difficult. So for you, over the years,
this is a mobile work studio. So that's a table that has things in it, and it opens up and it has like a screen, so I can like have a portable desk. It's like, so I hear you, I feel you.
Yeah. Over the years, did you kind of like come up with certain strategies to shut things out more? Because I feel like, I don't know if I heard this maybe I'm imagining it, but you said you, at times, you even wore a hat to be like more like tunnel visioned in.
Sometimes some of the lore that comes out, I don't know where it comes from. No, I've never worn a hat to like stay more focused. I just wear it because it keeps my head hot. It keeps my head warm. And I like it because I like the logo and I like the hat. So
yeah. So like,
that's why I wear that.
Over the years, has your office just become like smaller and smaller and smaller to where you've like dialed in a certain, like you need to have a certain space the way it is, where it's like you're not going to get as much work done otherwise?
I like a big screen. That's what I like, having a big screen, and I like having a decent amount of desk space. That's about it. And I don't like having any distractions.
If you were overlooking Vegas with an office table right in front of the glass door or the glass window, would your productivity be like halved? Or
oh yeah. Okay. I mean, I don't know what the percentage would be. It would be less.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So I'm not.
Yeah. I also get distracted really easily. Like I mean, when we drink our coffee, sometimes I just won't say anything for like 30 minutes because I'm just staring at the cars. Like, you know, it's like watching fire. I just like stare at it. Nothing else to do. You know what I mean? So like I can't have. Some people can't. Like people tell me, they're like, oh yeah, I work and like I just put jazz on or I put music on. Like I put earplugs in, and if I'm feeling really feisty, I'll put headphones on top of my earplugs. Like I need
no music
silence.
Though, ever?
No, no, God no. I can't think of. Then I'm just listening to music. I'm not even. I cannot do more than one thing.
So what about the phone? Do you leave it on airplane mode and like chuck it out of the room, or what do you do with it? Yeah.
Yeah. If I need to crank, I'll leave the phone outside the room.
Even if my phone's off and on airplane mode, just having it by me, distracting.
Yeah, for sure. And then you get the compulsion to like check Instagram or check Twitter or whatever.
Yeah, have you found that harder to stay dialed in now that you kind of like, you're so involved with social right now to grow your platform, to then bring in these companies? Do you ever find yourself accidentally deviating too hard down the rabbit holes of social media when you're checking stuff? It's like, holy shit, I've been sitting on the toilet for 20 minutes now looking at Instagram.
That's funny. I think I'm actually okay at it. As much as I'd love to have like a damaging admission right now and just say like, you know what, I struggle with, like, I don't as much because I actually don't, I have to remind myself to do it. And I have to try. Like I have to try. Like I have to remember to put stories up. I have an alarm to respond to comments and stuff because otherwise I just won't.
That's not something your executive assistant could do if they know how to speak like you?
Yeah, that's the voice thing. I'd rather, no, I want the stuff. If it's going to be me, I'd rather respond to 5 people and have it be me than have 100% of people being responded to and it not be me.
You know what's wild is how Instagram doesn't have like an admin feature where you can just like assign admins. You have to like actually physically give people your profile. Like how is that not a thing yet? It makes no fucking sense. I don't get it.
There's a lot of things that don't make sense.